I'm pretty sure my parents have very selective hearing. I would be there minding my own business, doing my own thing, right? And then I would hear my mom screaming my names from the bottom of the stairs. So I would go like, what? Really loudly. And so many times, but she literally wouldn't be able to hear me. Then I would have to go down and my mom would just be there asking, oh, what are you doing? But when it's like 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm calling my friends, whispering, barely making a sound, basically just breathing, she would already be storming to my bedroom, half asleep, yelling at me to shut up. How does this work?
Is it just me? Like, when you're watching YouTube or like anything that has adverts, and an advert pops up, and it's just like, writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard to read. It's like, no! I don't want Grammarly! I can write! I can read! I don't need this!
Story time. In my old school, I was in a friend group of 5 girls, including me. Annie, Camila, Jenna, and Emily. We were all like best friends and always had sleepovers on Fridays or on the weekend. But Camila always said that she couldn't make it because she had soccer practice. We all said it's okay, you'll come next time, even though she never came, and we never thought anything about it. Until one Wednesday afternoon at lunch when Emily went to the bathroom. We were all like, oh my god, we should totally throw her a slumber party for her birthday next week Friday. And everybody said yes, of course, and we all started planning it. But of course, Camila said, sorry, I have soccer practice, I can't make it. And me, as a straightforward person I am, said, you really can't miss one soccer practice for your best friend's birthday party? She of course felt really, really bad and said, okay, fine, I'll go. We were all super happy, but that was obviously a really bad idea. Part 2 of my last story time. So the day comes of Emily's birthday and we go to her house and we set up all the decorations, the piñata, the cake, all the arts and crafts, all the activities and everything. And when we arrive, like, we surprise her and we do all the activities, we eat cake, we do the piñata, we eat a bunch of stuff, and then it starts getting pretty late. So we decide, oh my god, let's go upstairs and like watch scary movies and tell scary stories, and let's bring all the candy. So we went upstairs with like all the candy, like a bunch of candy, and we all set up our like movie spot and we start watching scary movies and telling scary stories. Everybody gets pretty tired and we're all like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Yeah, me too. But for some reason, Camila was like, no guys, let's pull an all-nighter. But that night, something very scary happened. I'm so sorry to do this, but
I absolutely hate when you're like in English class or something and your teacher is just simply explaining your task to you. But then you decide to start a very loud conversation with your best friend. She notices you and your teacher gives you that look that really says no. She's like, oh wait. You both look at her like, I'm so sorry. Was my lesson interrupting your conversation? It's fine, guys, seriously, I'll wait. I'm like, thank you, sister, because I've still got to go through all the drama with my best friend. And last time I checked, you were teaching in our conversation.
Parents be like, get off your devices, you've been on them all day. And what have you been doing, huh? Oh, look at this picture, oh, look at this. I see you on your Facebook. Don't even try to lie. Leave me alone with my devices and go take your face back somewhere else.
I do not understand in the slightest how I can literally be falling asleep, right? I cannot keep my eyes open. But then when I actually get into bed and I want to go to sleep, I can't. I'm all of a sudden not tired. It's like I swear my days are backwards because I don't know how this works. It will take me like 3 hours to properly go to sleep, even though 10 minutes ago I was so tired. Sometimes it might just be the middle of the night and I will just still be laying there thinking about random things. Like how?
All better buckle up because this one's a ride. One day when I was 11 my mom let me use her laptop so I can study for my classes and shit. I got so bored while studying so I decided to go on some frisky websites. Until this ad popped up. It said congratulations, you've won a free MacBook Pro. Click here to claim it. I thought OMG holy shit, I got a free laptop, now I won't have to use my mom's and she won't have to save money to buy me one. So I clicked claim. It redirected me to a blank page and then everything went frozen. I couldn't click out of it or shut off the laptop and I started freaking out. Not because I thought something bad was happening, no, I was freaking out because I thought someone else was gonna claim the laptop before me. The camera started flashing indicating that it was turned on, and I started hysterically crying because I thought it meant that someone else claimed it. My mom heard me hyperventilating so she ran into the room in a panic, and she found me slobbering on her laptop while the screen was blank. She ran over and hugged me and asked what's wrong, and that's when we heard a dark low demonic voice from the laptop say we found you, before it shut off and wouldn't turn back on.
One day I was in 5th grade, we were getting ready to go to lunch. But then the loudspeaker went on and said, "Teachers, please activate yourselves into lockdown." I was confused but mad at the same time. My teacher looked at her phone and looked shocked. She then started moving kids away from the windows. That's when I started to get scared. My teacher tried to keep a straight face to not get us worried, but I could tell she was scared. A few minutes later the loudspeaker went on again and said, "Teachers, please return to your normal schedule." We went to lunch and my friends started talking about the lockdown and how scary it was. But then I said that it was just a drill and my friends said, it wasn't a drill. When my friend told me that it wasn't a drill, I started to ask questions. I was really scared. That day when I went home I told my mom about it. She asked questions about it but I told her. I just found out it wasn't a drill so I don't know a lot about it. The next day we just went on and pretended it never happened. At the end of the day at the blacktop a teacher passed out a note to everybody. I don't know why, but he told us to not open the note until we get home. Me being that good kid that I am, I read the note at dismissal. The note said something along the lines of, "Dear parents, yesterday we had a report from a neighbor reporting suspicious activity outside the school." And that proved it all.
Okay, did this happen to anyone else? So, in middle school, there was this girl, let's call her Olivia. And she was the most talkative person I had ever met. And sometimes, it was funny in class. But oh my god, sometimes she nearly made me want to off myself. Especially in, for example, sports/PE. Olivia was talking to her friend whilst the teacher was talking, and she freaking made not only Olivia, but the whole class to do laps around the field. Like, what did we ever do wrong? We did not deserve to do 20 laps. Just make Olivia do it herself, you know?
Quick shout out to Bully3 Eilish, my friend, go follow her.
Will never, and I mean never, forget the time that we had a male sub in high school and a girl asked to go to the restroom and he said sure. So she grabbed something and he heard a rapper and he was like, "Oh, if you're gonna eat candy, you can do it in here, but you have to share with everyone in the class." And she was like, "What?" And he was like, "Well, I heard the rapper." And she whips out a tampon, shoves it in his face, and she goes, "You want to share?" "Oh, girl, savage."
One day I decided to invite this kinda weird girl over to my house as no one ever wanted to hang out with her and I felt a little bit bad. I told her to meet me in this classroom after the last bell went for the end of the day. I walked all the way to the classroom and she wasn't there. I was really confused as that's where I told her to go. At this point I was bursting for a piss cause the old fat teacher named Pat didn't let me go during the lesson. I made the decision to go to the toilet and maybe she would be there when I got back. When I got to the toilet, there was someone in one of the cubicles having the biggest shit ever. It stunk of moldy eggs, clothing pegs, hairy legs, picture frame, really lame, my idol, touchy-feelio, bug-infested rat, ugly hat, wet dog, greasy fog, shiny spoon, the cow jumped over the moon, loud fan, white van, stinky feet, your outfit is neat, flying bird, donkey turd, deep sleep, big leap. Shit started to seep under the cubicle door. I screamed and jumped onto the sinks and asked who it was. It was Toenail Tabby, the girl who was meant to come round to my house. In that moment I was so glad she didn't do that in my house, otherwise we would have had to live on the streets as the plumbing bill would have been like $1 million. I had to walk her up to medical covered in her own shit as I couldn't just leave her there. Her mom picked her up and took her home. The next day she wasn't in school as it turns out she didn't have bowel cancer, but shitty stinky runny idiot.
If you're having a bad day, I just thought it'd be nice for you to know that a girl who used to be in my class posted a thing to her story that was like, oh, like, honest opinions about me, please. And she responded to her own story and said, oh my gosh, you're the Heather. Queen Heather. You are the main character. You are so pretty and talented. This would have been fine if she didn't screenshot her own response and post it on her and post it to her story with her username still clearly attached. It was so in character. She was like, oh my god, you guys, stop. Like, why does everyone think I'm the Heather? I can't do this today.
One time my mom took me to a baseball game and I asked her if I could get some cotton candy. She said no. You are already fat. I was so upset I was ready to punch her. A few minutes later a player hit the baseball and it came flying at us. I ducked and it hit my mom right in the face. I started laughing and said ha 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 ha, that's karma bitch for not buying me the cotton candy. I noticed we were on the Jumbotron, so I started shaking my juicy thick ass and screaming. The medical people helped my mom and then we got thrown out. My mom was so mad. When we were in the car I was still mad about the cotton candy thing. I saw a piece of paper and a pen and wrote help me I'm being kidnapped and held it up to the window. Like for part 2.
Story time about when I was 9 years old and was playing in the park but then soon got rushed to the hospital. So we had just finished school and I was in the school's park with my friend. We were like best friends at the time and we used to love hanging out there together after school. My mom and her friends would also stay in the park, like sitting down on the grass having a picnic all together. So we were just, playing in the park, having fun, and usually there was like this kind of cafe place that was like part of our school where you could buy food and stuff, drinks. So my friend went in there to get some popcorn. She told me to wait outside in the park. So I was just doing cartwheels because I loved doing them at the time, and then I suddenly tripped over this rock and fell onto this metal kind of little bar thing that was like right next to the entrance of the park. So that day I was wearing this skirt with some tights under it, and when I tripped at the time, it hurt, but it didn't hurt that much. Like when you first trip, like it's kind of a shock more than it actually hurting. So I was just like about to stand up going for my day, and I realized I literally couldn't stand up. Like my knee hurted so much that I was practically jumping with one leg, holding onto the rails of the fence. See, at this point I was a little concerned, but not that surprised, because usually tripping would hurt. Then this older guy asked me, like, are you okay? Because he saw me limping, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine, because I thought I was fine. But I wasn't. I went over to my mom, barely being able to walk, and she stood up quickly and asked me, like, what's wrong? And the tights that I was wearing were, like, really dark blue. It could almost look black, so you couldn't really see all the blood that was dripping from my knee. Now I was starting to get a little scared because it was kind of starting to hurt more. So I quickly went to the toilet and put my tights off so I could see my knee. And it looked like a waterfall of blood. I obviously started panicking, and so did my mom. So she quickly carried me and ran to the school nurse because I couldn't walk, so she carried me. And as you probably know, the school nurses aren't much of a help. So when we got to the school nurse, this time she didn't actually tell me to put a pack of ice on my knee. But she told us she put this plaster over it. Obviously, that didn't help. Then this other doctor came over and we told her what happened, and she told us to go straight to the hospital. What happens next is something I will probably never forget. I'm really sorry to be this person, but I'm running out of time, so come back for part 2.
Tell me why people in my class are so energetic at 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, they're all laughing, having fun, whilst I look like an ugly rat. They're looking fresh as a daisy, just came out the freaking shower, and I look like, I haven't slept in months. I also get cranky in the mornings because stupid school and my alarm interrupted my lovely dream with Shrek.
When I was little, I found my mom's credit card, and being a 6-year-old, I saw my mom putting the credit card on her phone, and I knew how she did it. So, I decided that I was going to put it on my phone. So, I put it on my phone, and I was downloading Roblox because I thought, hey, I can play with my friends here. That day, I spent $2,000 worth of freaking money on Robux. Let's just say a lot of my friends thought I was really cool and rich. When my mom found out, I hid from her for seriously like a day, and then once I got in there, she wasn't mad. She just said I was Captain Robux.
Know those popular girls who think they can sing, but in reality they sound like a supermassive black hole? I was paired up with one of them to finish a project, and Miss Girl did nothing. Didn't even type a single syllable. So I had to go out of my way and finish her part of the project. And so today she posts on her Snap story a video of herself singing, Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Bitch, you can go jingle your head into a brick wall. The fuck. I will never understand why school has to start at 7 in the fucking morning. Like, what do you think I am? A fucking rooster? Oh, cock-a-doodle-doo. More like, fuck you. And then teachers come in all, come on you guys, you gotta pick up the energy. What's going on? Oh, I don't know, Barbara. Maybe it's because it's fucking 7 in the morning? Like, why are you expecting me to solve a triangle? Bitch, you're built like a triangle. Why don't you do it? Okay, why are so many kids nowadays just taking like random words they learn off of TikTok and just using them without having any idea what they mean? Like, I saw this comment under my post that was like, oh my god, not you gatekeeping the Yas Hunty Slay Queen mama work bitch. Like, what? What the fuck were you trying to say? Because I have no idea. You sound like my mom.
I think it's funny how we have one hand that knows how to do everything, and then we have another hand that just sits there like, I don't know how to use a pencil. Stupid hand.
Last night, I was lying in bed, and I realized something. You know when you hate your siblings? Yeah, we all do. And then you're like, oh, well, you're the adopted one. And you don't really mean it. It's kind of a joke. But, like, my brother's actually adopted. So, I'd be really mean if I went up to him and be like, oh, you're the adopted sibling.
The story is called Birthday. One day, a girl asked her dad, what are you gonna get me for my birthday? The father replied, I don't know. Later that month, the girl fainted and was rushed to the hospital. The doctor came out and told her dad that she has a bad heart. When the girl was lying on the bed, she said, Dad, have they told you I'm gonna die yet? The father replied yes and left weeping. She said, how can you be so sure? He turned around and left. Her birthday came around where she started doing much better. She was so excited to go home and see her dad. When she went home, she read a letter that her dad had left. My dearest daughter, if you're reading this, all went well. One day you asked me what I was giving you for your birthday. My present to you is my heart. Take care, my love. Never forget me. Her father donated his heart.
Story time. So this was 2 years ago and I was at school and it was a normal day until the principal went on the speaker and said, we're in lockdown, go in your closets. So we went ahead and went in the closets. We were all confused. Some people were scared. Everyone was like kind of asking the teacher what was going on and stuff. Now during this time I wasn't asking anything or saying anything because I knew during a lockdown you don't want to say anything. So if there is someone in the school, they won't find where you are. But I was still listening to them because I was curious like everyone else. So while everyone was asking the questions, one girl stood up and said, if you're not going to say what's going on, I'm going to get out of the closet. The teacher yelled at her and told her no. And the teacher yelled loud, so whoever was in the school obviously heard. So the door opened and everyone became silent. And so basically for part 2, welcome to part 2. Okay, so the guy that came into our school was a prisoner that escaped prison. So he was like, where are you? And he stood in there for at least 10 minutes. Then we thought he left, but he was completely silent, and the teacher gave us a look saying do not talk and do not move. So we all listened to the way he looked, and my best friend, the girl that stood up saying she would leave, got up and left. She thought that the guy was gone and she was going to get a counselor. So as soon as she got out of the room, we heard gunshots. As soon as the gunshots said that, I knew immediately what happened. I started crying and I thought that she was dead. The guy didn't even try to come in the room that we were in, even though he knew where we were. He immediately left knowing that he should have not shot the girl. Wait for part 3. Welcome to part 3. So as soon as the guy left, we got out of the closet and started panicking. We didn't know what to do since she was shot in the head and we knew that she wouldn't make it. So we were all freaking out and so was I, and I was crying and I just couldn't breathe right and I didn't know what to do. The speaker went off saying that the police and the ambulance were coming since the principal heard a gunshot too. So when the police came, they found the guy who was hiding in a locker and he got contained and took into the police office. The ambulance were here and went in the room and took her. They said with their face, saying she would not make it. That was the worst day of my life. So the ambulance took her, and about 2 days later, we weren't allowed to go to the school since the guy was still on the loose. He escaped. So we all had to stay at our homes, and I visited my friend, and I didn't know she died.
Today, I went to my friend's birthday party. We're gonna call her Jazzy. Well, I'm at the party, and then Jazzy's dad pulls me aside, and he's like, can we talk in private? I was like, yeah, of course, because I thought it was gonna be like a gift for Jazzy.
So long story short, he pulls me aside, and it gets so motherfucking weird. Like
homeboy starts holding my hand, and he's like, I always thought you were one of Jazzy's most beautiful friends. Age is just a number. I don't really like my wife. And I was like, that's disgusting. So I got to the point where I got really uncomfortable. I ran away and I went to go tell Jazzy's mom what her husband was telling me. So I go tell her, right?
This is the best part.
So I go to tell Jazzy's mom and she's like, thank you for telling me. I'm gonna take care of it. Here's this water, drink it. Like, you're probably so overwhelmed right now. So I remember I drank the water and I felt dizzy and tingly. Next thing I know, I'm in the hospital because Jazzy's mom put poison.
It was Halloween one year and we were handing out candy to the little undeserving bastard shits that knocked on our door. This one fat ginger bitch knocked on the door and of course she chose the biggest candy bar in the bucket and she said she wants another one. I said, listen here you tubby orange bitch, you get one fucking candy bar, you don't look like you need another one. She grabbed another candy bar from the bucket and started laughing at me and I said to her, if you weren't in a costume I would think you were the grand pumpkin, you giant orange bitch. She took her shoe off and threw it at my face, and that's when I lunged at her and tackled her off the balcony. I started pulling at her orange haystack hair and she started screaming for her dad. Her dad dragged me off the little ginger bitch and he yelled at me saying, who the hell beats up a 7-year-old? I said, me you old twat, and I took her entire bucket of candy and walked inside. The cops came over and I started fake crying saying she attacked me first and I was defending myself, and my dog was agreeing and defending me. The police went to the tubby ginger thought's house and shot it up. That's what you get for messing with me, you expanded Ed Sheeran looking bitch.
If you try, you will succeed.
Be yourself and enjoy it.
And never give up.